Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Shri Gurudevaya Namaha. Om Namah Shri Shankarananda Gurupadambujanmane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grase Kakarmane. Avichara krito bandhaha vicharena nivartate. Bondage is created by the absence of vichar. Kritaha word is used, but we cannot use kritaha there to mean created. Bondage is perpetuated. Just bondage is kept going. Because we don't do vichar. What a tradition and what a teaching. That our bondage in this world, birth and what is bondage? Birth and death and all the other things in between. Sorrow and disease and all the things which people don't like. That is bondage. We don't like birth. We like birthday. But nobody likes birth. In birth everybody cries. In birthday everybody laughs. Until you don't eat all that cake. So anyway, that absence of vichar is the cause for this bondage to continue. So in this Nataka Deep, chapter 10, Vidyadhara Swamiji is taking us on this very important journey of vichar, and it is there we have to put all our effort. Really, it is said that the truth we saw previously is jnapakam natu karakam. It is to be known, and this is an exercise in knowing. It is not an exercise in doing, like you have to do something. It's just by knowing we remove again. And knowledge is already there. The self is of the nature of knowledge. We only have to remove the cloud and the sun is already shining. But to remove that cloud is where vichar has to be done. Okay, so now when we left it on Thursday, he was speaking about inside and outside. What we ordinarily think about when we think about inside and outside. Bahirantar vibhagoyam dehapeksho na sakshini. In the sakshi there is no such thing as inside and outside. In Atma Chaitanya, in consciousness, the witness consciousness, there is no such thing as inside and outside. That is only with respect to the mind or the body. Where mind and body is there is inside and outside. In fact, this space is like that also. Only with respect to these walls, we say this is inside space. We say, go out, come in. Like that teacher was teaching English in one of the villages in India. So usually what happens, it happens here also in the reverse. People, they know that language, but because they don't have practice in speaking, they can't speak it. They know all the words and vocabulary and all. So that happens quite often in India, where the teachers know English language on paper only, but they don't have practice in speaking. So here many Trinidadians And all of you know many Hindi words, but you don't have any practice in speaking that thing. So do you know the word and the vocabulary and all? So the teacher told that boy, get out from the class. So the boy left inside and went outside. And he stood outside the door there. Then after 10 minutes of standing, he thought that was enough punishment. Now let me tell him to come back inside. But now the teacher forgot the sentence in English now. Come back inside. Could not say the sentence, forgot. The teacher went out, passed the boy and pointed at the door. Get out! So the same place which was in just now became out. That all depends on where you are standing, isn't it? In and out, it depends where you are standing. Anyway, the idea is it's in and out is only with respect to some things which we have constructed and all. So inside and outside it is with respect to the mind and body, right? In ordinary things like space even, there is no such thing as inside or outside. I told we say outer space, but there's a contradiction in terms. Outer space is a contradiction in terms, because when you go further and further away, you are still in space. Vishayaha bahya deshasthaha dehasya antaha aham kritihi. With regard to this body, the objects are outside, and the ahankar, or the individual identity, is inside. Now, he introduces in the next few verses one of the most important concepts. The word comes now. The word is called as adhyaropa, adhyasa. Sometimes it is called as avabhasa. You would see these words coming, no? Adhyaropa, adhyasa, avabhasa. And avabhasa means an appearance. But sometimes they are used interchangeably. You may dig into the words and find a little distinction here and there, but really there is no distinction. In the final analysis, they all mean one and the same. So how many words are there? Adhyaropa, adhyasa, and avabhasa. An appearance. Avabhasa means an appearance. Like when people have a lot of avabhasa, they tell me they see shadows. I get scared of such people. They see avabhasa. I don't know how people have all sorts of things in their mind. This mind creates a lot of trouble for a lot of people, I tell you. Anyway, so Bhagavan introduces this word is called as adhyaropa. Now let us see number 17. Antastha dhi sahe vakshaihi bahiryati punaha bhasya buddhista chanchalyam sakshinyaropyate vritha. Antastha bahiryanti punaha. That dhi which is antastha means which is inside. Dhi means intellect. See, the diagrams are not all complete by themselves. Body and mind and intellect here, they belong to antakarana. And sometimes it is speaking about the ahankar, aham kritihi in the previous verse. Aham kritihi is ahankar, which possesses the mind and intellect. And here now he is using the word dhi. Dhi is another word for intellect. So whenever that word is, one of them is used, mind, intellect, aham kriti, ahankar, very rarely you see the usage of the word chitta. That is not used so often. But these three are used. Aham kriti, previous verse. Now here dhi, intellect. Sometime manaha, previously. So when that is used, it is referring to the whole anta karana. Quite often you have to see context and all. Upalakshana, by extension, the whole anta karana is meant. So here it says antastha dhi sahevakshaihi bahiryanti. Punah. The intellect, which is antastha, inside, that intellect goes out again and again with all its senses. It goes out through its ears, through its eyes, through its nose. The intellect goes out. Bahiryati punah punaha. Bahihiyati means goes out. Binupata chalai. Without feed it goes out. The iti, antakarana. Then bhasya buddhista chanchalyam. That buddhi, which is bhasya, illumined. Bhasya buddhi, and is also fickle. It is overwhelmed by chanchalatvam, chanchalyam. That buddhi, it is illumined, and its illumination comes from something else. When the antakarana is illumined, its illumination comes from something else. And it is also chanchal. Chanchalam himara Krishna. Pramati, Balavat, Dhridam, all of it is very much fickle. Right? Fickle means what? It swishes across. And before you know it is gone somewhere. I hope you just caught what I said. Gone everywhere. Fickle by nature. He says, Sakshini aropyate vritha. Vritha means here falsely. Falsely, that movement and fickleness of the dhi, antakarana in this case, that fickleness and movement of the antakarana is falsely superimposed on sakshi. So how we say, I was absent. Sometimes we use absent-minded. It means to say, like when I said the phrase, you were not here. So when I use the word I, the ultimate I is who? Sakshi, isn't it? The ultimate I is Sakshi. So we say, I did not catch that. Why? Because I was not there. Even though the body was there, but we say I was not there. But look here. The ultimate I is Sakshi, which is Atma Chaitanya, Sakshi Chaitanya. That is all pervasive. So how you were not there? But you say, I had gone. We don't go anyway. In other words, it is the D which is going, but we are superimposing that going on the Sakshi. You cannot not be anywhere. I was not there. I was absent. I am always there. Now let me tell you. This is aropyate. Aropyate word means vritha, means falsely superimposed. Aropyate vritha is falsely superimposed. One thing is falsely superimposed on another thing. Now I'll pause here a little bit and tell you about this word aropyate. So what are these three words? I must tell you, because this is a whole of Vedanta rests on this. That is why we always have to talk about snake and rope. Without snake and rope, Vedanta comes to a standstill. Yeah. It can't even crawl. Let it, no. Snake and rope is of fundamental importance. Now see, I told you there are 3 words. What are the 3 words? Adhyasa, Aropa, and Avabhasa. Adhyasa, Adhyaropa, Aropa, Adhyaropa, Aropa is same. And Avabhasa. Avabhasa means an appearance. So, the Acharyas tell, and you will see also from their exposition, that there are 2 types, 2 things involved, or 2 types also. Better say 2 types. 2 types of Adhyaropa. Adhyaropa. 2 types of Adhyasa, if you want to say like that, right? One is called as Artha Adhyasa. Artha Adhyasa. The other is called Jnana Adhyasa. Artha Adhyasa and Jnana Adhyasa. This is the first thing. Second thing is Bhagavan Shankaracharya himself has described Adhyasa. We have seen so many counters. Atasmin tad buddhi. Adhyaso nama atasmin tad buddhi iti avocham. In his bhashya, he gives the definition of Adhyasa like this. Atasmin tad buddhi Adhyaso nama. It means to say, in that which is not that, to think that that is that. That is called Adhyas. That rope which is not a snake, to think that that is a snake, or to see a snake. That is called as Adhyas. Our Sadananji Swamiji tells that Adhyas is Asarva Bhutanam Sarpa Rupavat. Asarpa Bhutanam Sarpa Rupavat. Like how we see in a thing which is not a snake to see a snake. What is Asarpa Bhutanam Rajjau actually comes in between there. Asarva Bhutanam Rajjau Sarpavat. Vastuni Avastu Aropaha. This is how he describes that. What that means now. You see words again. The Sanskrit words will slowly reveal this. We are studying what word? Adhyasa, Aropa, Adhyaropa, Avabhasa. Asarva Bhutanam. What I said? Bhutanam? Bhutayam. Because Rajjau is in 7 case. This has to be 7 case also. Bhutayam. Asarpa Bhutayam Rajjau. On the rope which is not a snake. That is why 2 things are coming in 7 case. On the rope which is not a snake. Sarpa Rupavat. How the snake is superimposed. In the same way, Vastuni. Vastuni means on the reality. Vastu here is the object, the reality. Vastuni Avastu Aropavat. Aropaha. On the reality to superimpose what is not the reality. That is what is being described here in the verse in which we are seeing. He says, the fickleness and movement and what? The zooming of the intellect we superimpose on the self. They say, I am so busy. People say, no, don't bother me. Too busy. But the self is not busy. How the self will be busy? The self is all pervasive. Busy means what? Doing this, doing that. Second thing, going here, going there. That is busy. Doing this, doing that, going here, going there. So the self is akarta, doesn't do anything. The self is achalam, doesn't go anyway. But you keep saying, I'm busy, I'm running about here and there. So at that time, really, the eye, see, there are no two eyes. There's only one eye. So first of all, there's the, of course, we say there's the empirical eye who is saying that. But that is false thing. And that empirical eye has no existence without eye. So we are superimposing, on, when we make those statements on those occasions, we are superimposing the all movement and doing and all of that, because we started by saying the doer is the ahamkar with the intellect. The ahankar is the doer, he is the karta. So we are superimposing doership on the self. So that is vastuni or vastu aropa. On the reality we are superimposing. And Bhagavan Shankaracharya says that it is atasmin tad buddhi, in that which is not that to think that that is that, in that which is not a doer to think that is a doer. So now, in this regard, there are two types. I told you. One is called as artha adhyasa, and the other is called as jnana adhyasa. And you will notice that there are two types ordinarily in life also. So artha adhyasa is to superimpose one object on another object. Like, for example, you see a snake on a rope. That's called artha adhyasa. Artha means object. Artha adhyasa, to superimpose one object on another object. So there, we don't distinctly cognize rope, we only cognize snake, or ghost on a post, Gurudev used to say. What is that? Man on a stump. Huh? Ghost on a post. Bhagavan Shankaracharya is man on a stump. Stambhe Purusha. On a stump, see a man. Because a tree stump is standing there, but you're coming in the dusk, then you see a man. And the other type of adhyasa is called jnana adhyasa, which actually is, there is the cognition of an object other than what it is. No, what is it? But the same thing. Eh? No, not the same thing. Let me explain that to you. That is like Spatika and Pila Vastra means a crystal ball. And if the crystal ball is sitting on a blue cloth, or let us say this orange cloth, right? If the crystal ball is sitting on this orange cloth, then the crystal ball will appear how? Orange, isn't it? So, in this instant, you are actually perceiving the crystal ball, but you are perceiving it as other than what it, as different from what it is. There's a difference or not? We are perceiving the crystal ball, but we are perceiving it not as clear as it is, but we are perceiving it as orange, because it is sitting on this orange cloth. And in the first instance, we are not seeing rope at all. One object has replaced indifferent. One object has replaced another object in the first case, like snake on rope or man on stump. Now, it is not so easy. You have to do some more vichar on that now. That vichar is like that. Yeah. In the case of the snake on the rope, there has to be some measure of perception of the rope also. You have to give thought to it. There has to be some measure of perception on the rope, because if there were no rope, you would not have seen a snake. So we say that the rope is vaguely perceived. That word you will have to use, something. The rope is vaguely perceived. Because had there been no rope, you would not have seen a snake. So that means there is some sort of perception of the rope. And what portion of the rope is perceived there is merely the existence portion and not the ascertained portion that it is a rope. Because the existence part is perceived, the nama rupa of snake is now superimposed on that. The nama rupa of rope is not perceived, but because the substratum part is perceived only, and here you superimpose a new nama rupa, which is snake. The existence part is perceived. So it is not altogether not perceived in the first one. In the second one, there is a distinct perception of the object, but it is just perceived as different from what it is. There is a distinct perception of the crystal ball. You have no doubt that you are seeing a crystal. You have any doubt? But the doubt comes now with the nature of the crystal ball. Is it clear or is it orange? So Bhagavan Shankaracharya's definition of tasmin tad buddhi, in that which is not that, to think that that is that, that covers both the types of adhyasa. They are covered in that definition. Now see some wonderful thing about that. Adhyasa or avabhasa or adhyaropa sometimes is translated as an illusion. That word is a superimposition or an illusion. That illusion word is very much possible. How? Because in the case of the rope and snake, you may say superimposition. But in the case of the crystal ball, you say it is an illusion, nah? Or you're sitting in one train or one bus or one vehicle, and the other one is moving, but you think you are moving. That happens to me more often than all the other things. I don't see snake. Well, I sometimes see snake, but this one, why? Because I am always sitting in these airports, and when you're sitting, you have this little window, and then that other plane beside us starts moving. Then I think, our departure is early today, because I am always looking forward to that. But anyway, I think we are leaving early, but no leaving. That fellow is leaving. We are just right there only. So those are called as illusions, and they are a little bit different from the other ones, which are called as superimposition. But see something here now. In the first one, when there is knowledge of rope, snake disappears, isn't it? Superimposition is such that when there is knowledge of the substratum, the superimposed object disappears. In other words, thereafter you cannot continue to see snake once you have seen the rope. Correct? Once there is the correct, clear and proper apprehension of the substratum, which in this case is the rope, the superimposed object ceases to exist. Correct? That is first. Now see second one. If you come to know that the crystal ball is clear, you come to know that the crystal ball is clear. Somebody explains that to you. That crystal balls don't have colors. Otherwise, how you call a crystal ball, like, or whatever. You come to know, somebody explained in some way, that the crystal ball is clear, and you are just perceiving it as orange because it is lying on an orange cloth. So you come to the understanding and you accept also that does not mean to say that the orangeness of the crystal ball ceases to exist. In other words, you have understood everything, but the orangeness does not vanish. That is different or not? The orangeness, I'm saying orangeness, I don't know if there's a word like that. The orangeness continues to persist in spite of your knowledge that the orange belongs to the cloth and not to the crystal ball, right? And this is an amazing discovery, because it explains one of the most important questions which arises very often. See, in this case, you can continue to have an illusion without a delusion. The idea is, you are not deluded that the ball is orange, but the illusion persists, isn't it? And this is how Vedanta explains the vision of a Jivan Mukta. If you do Jivan Mukta, this is how you... That is a private joke with the brahmachari now. This is the vision that one will have. What is that? There continues to be the illusion without the delusion. Because people keep asking all the time, what is this Jivan Mukti and how he see? But you can, isn't it possible? Don't you see the possibility of knowing very clearly and distinctly that the crystal ball is colorless, but you are seeing it merely with color? You know for sure that it is colorless. So this is how Jivan Mukta sees the world. He knows for sure that this world is made up of pure existence. It is made up of pure, Satchidananda, and it is not coming or going, changing or anything. But the illusion continues. But the delusion is not there. So there is the presence of adhyasa, but the absence of moha. Moha is the Sanskrit word for delusion. There is moha-pahar. Moha-pahar, moha-paharanam, the removal of delusion. But there is the presence of adhyasa. And one doesn't affect the other. One does not affect the other. Means you do this in life all the time. Yeah. When you go and see a movie, or you see some drama, you see something, when the train is coming to you, the first man who saw that train coming, on that movie, he ran out of that theater. Look here, the first time I saw that also, I got scared, I thought that car is coming, train is coming, it will hit me. Because how to get these views, with this camera. They stand straight in front of that. But once you have learned now, you don't get up and run away. Like the fellow who saw that dinosaur coming. In that Jurassic Park, he went to see that movie, and that dinosaur is coming. He ran under the seat and he hid there. So the other fellow next to him said, "But it's only a movie. It's only a movie. Why are you running hiding?" He said, "Hey, Bhaiya, I know it's a movie and I am a man. He's an animal. Where he know?" He may not know that thing, Anyway, so this also, that is called delusion. But after some time you learn that it is not real. There is a time when movies just came out, people used to be deluded by what is going on there. But the species learned. Then the species is not deluded by that anymore. So we know it is just. But the illusion remains, but the delusion goes. This is the vision of a Jivan Mukta. Now, Bhagavan, I explained this whole idea of Adhyasa because it is very, very important. This is exactly what is happening on the Supreme Self. There is the superimposition of entire Jagat, and in its infinite variety. And whatever are the things going on in the Jagat and the characteristics and traits and all of that, really, in the self, it is not there. Whatever color you see that crystal ball as, that color is not there in the crystal ball. You see if you want. It's okay. But that color is not there in the crystal ball. Okay. In other words, and this is another very strong point. You see, these are all points for Vichar. That in neither of the cases of this Adhyasa, whether Artha Adhyasa or Jnana Adhyasa, in neither of them is there ever the superimposed Vastu or Vishaya ever touching or affecting the substratum. The snake does not make the rope poisonous, and the orange cloth does not make the crystal ball orange. And whatever has happened or whatever transpired, this substratum at the Adhisthana, that remains intact, untouched, unchanged, unmoved, unaffected. The Adhisthana. And this is exactly how we have to think about this Jagat and Jiva and body consciousness and our identification and thoughts and memories and all things that are going on inside of us and all our experiences and whatever it is, all of it is happening upon the Adhisthana substratum, the Adhara of Brahman. And that's why I keep telling our class, after all is said and done, nothing is said or done. The Adhisthana Adhara remains as it was. This whole idea of that is captured from personal experience. In our ordinary life, we have these two types of Adhyasa, and we experience it all the time. This is the idea, a concept which is utilized for the explanation of the universe on Brahman, and it avoids all the philosophical pitfalls that are very common when you adopt any other explanation for this universe and God. Any other explanation for this universe and God you adopt other than this superimposition, you are in trouble. And the other one is various forms of creation only. Like God was there and he thought and he did this and that. You are in real trouble. And when you adopt anyone, you have been seeing now, we have been doing in Pleasantville. The creation is an impossibility. In this case, we are not talking about any creation. We are talking about a reality with infinite, inherent potencies, and I told a potency. And the inherence of a potency or the inherence of a possibility does not differentiate the material in which it is inherent. In other words, the inherence of three possibilities of solid, liquid and gas in the H2O molecule does not change the nature of the H2O molecule. So it makes no differentiation in the molecule. So the inherence of infinite possibilities in Brahman, this Brahmanda being one possibility only, The inherence of infinite possibilities does not in any way differentiate or break up Brahman or affect Brahman or anything. The inherence of a possibility does nothing to that substratum in which it is inherent. Otherwise, the question will always be there. Oh, so there is Brahman and there is other things also. It means it becomes dual. So the inherence of a possibility does not make the thing dual. Because that question will always have to be asked. Because you are saying Brahman is non-dual. So the inherence of a possibility does not make the thing dual. It still remains non-dual. In other words, that's what I was telling you. In other words, when you look at the H2O molecule under the microscope, you don't see two things. You see only one thing, H2O molecule. You don't see H2O molecule plus possibilities. Even though it has three possibilities. It's an amazing thing, huh? See the power of Bhagavan Maya. In this regard, there are many, many other things. But the words have not come, so I will not tell you. Adhyaropa word has come. Okay. Now, using this explanation of Adhyasa, Adhyaropa, which we have seen, sometimes people make a distinction between these two words. One brief distinction, let me tell you fast. Adhyaropa word, we say, is from the individual standpoint, and Adhyasa word is from the cosmic standpoint. That distinction does not hold so well in the literature. Yeah? The words are used interchangeably everywhere, but some people like to make distinctions. That is okay also. Have fun. Have fun and make your distinctions. No problem. Now, number 17. So what the idea is now, after all that discussion, the idea is the qualities of the antakarana, the traits and characteristics and qualities of the antakarana is superimposed on the self, on the absolute reality. In that regard, there is one more word which you should know now also. Since we had started the topic already, why not? There's another word which is called as Anyonya Adhyasa. Anyonya Adhyas. What is Anyonya Adhyas? That's called as mutual superimposition. Mutual superimposition. Mutual superimposition means what? That the two things superimpose their respective qualities on each other. So now, so far what we have seen just now, what has been given there, only the qualities and traits and characteristics of the antakarana is superimposed on Sakshi. That is what this verse has just seen, isn't it? Superimposed on Sakshi. But it is Sakshi alone which is pure consciousness. So the consciousness of Sakshi is superimposed on the antakarana because the antakarana is jara. Isn't it? Antakarana is jara. So the antakarana superimposes on Sakshi kartritva bhav, bhoktritva bhav, chanchalatvam. The chanchalya word is used there also. Movement. Chalatvam, chanchalyam, like that. Movement and so on. The antakarana superimposes on Sakshi. When Sakshi is all pervasive, doesn't go anywhere and all of that. But this is, we keep saying, I go, I do, I this, I that, right? So these qualities are superimposed on Sakshi. Sakshi's quality, which is pure Chaitanya, consciousness, that is superimposed on Antakarana, which is Jada. Jada means inert. But consciousness now is superimposed on now. It is aware. The Antakarana becomes aware by awareness. I don't know if... but good, you understand what I mean. That is important. It becomes aware, awareized. Aware-defied, yes. So, there's anyonya adhyasa. One superimposes quality on the other, and the other superimposes qualities on the other. That is called anyonya adhyasa. And this is what is actually going on in the case of the individual being. Like a flame on the side of the pond. You know, fire and water don't mix. You know, fire and water don't mix, and fire and water cannot mix. But the flame on the side of the pond, you can see it very clearly in the pond or not. You can see that. And nowadays they have these little lamps they stick in the ground. The solar powered lamps. So you stick that one next to the pond right there. And now when you watch down in the pond, you see this lamp standing there. But one is fire and one is water. They don't mix, but they mixed. So people ask how two contrary things will mix, like oil and water. Two contrary things. One is jada and one is chetan. But we see in ordinary life also they can mix like this. The one is reflected in the other, but not really. Means it is not really there. One in the fire, the flame which you are seeing is not really there inside the world, but it appears to be there. So, in the case of this anyonya adhyasa, there is the appearance of the awareness in the antakarana, which is jada, and there is the appearance in Atma Chaitanya, Sakshi Chaitanya, of chanchalatvam, chanchalyam, fickleness, finitude, karitritva, bhoktritva, means to say all these, yes, doership and enjoyership and all of this. See? So there's anyonya adhyasa. That is the other word. Just to complete that topic of adhyasa, which is now going to be utilized in the next. And Bhagavan, Swamiji himself now will tell about this superimposition. See, now he says, and he gives an example before he goes further. Example. Adhyas. What is the example? Grihantaragata swalpaha Gavakshadatapo chalaha. The visarga is missing at the end there. In my book, I don't know in your book. Tatra haste nartyamane nrityati vatapo yatha grihantaragata swalpaha gavakshat tapaha achalaha. Like a swalpaha, a tiny little bit of atapaha, light, in this case light, a little bit of light in a gavakshat. Gavakshat means a little opening, a crack in the door, your window or something. Like I see here, like I'm seeing one clearly over there at the back of a house, griha. So grihantaragata, which comes in. A little bit of light comes into that crack in the door, window, something. So not the whole sunlight came in, little bit. Then tatra haste nartyamane, and then children, I don't know if you did, but I did so much of this in childhood. When that light came in, you put your hand in that sun and it falls on that thing over there. And you make, the light is coming like this. And you make all sorts of funny things on that wall. So hasta means the hand. Natyamane, you make the hand in the dancing of the hand. Dancing of the hand. What happened? The light which is there, which is achalaha. Light doesn't dance. But the light appears to be nrityati va. It dances as though. So you make the light dance. Now see, and the light which is achala, there appears to be that dancing. Light which is unmoving, there appears to be movement. This is the idea. So on the self which is unmoving, achalaha, there appears to be movement. I think I am moving. See, like this. I think I am moving. Everybody think that they are moving or not? I think I am moving. But really, I am not moving anywhere. I have not come from anywhere. I am not going anywhere. Then why you are telling all this thing about all rebirth and reincarnation came from China, Argentina, and this place and that place? And yes. पूर्व जन्म में habla español. In last life you are speaking Spanish. I don't know the grammar for that. But see, it's telling all of this is all based on our experiences. If you're experiencing something now, it has to be explained. So we have explanation for everything which we are experiencing. But here, the example is given to tell just exactly what we were describing just now. Now that is continued now to be explained or to be elaborated in the next verse. This is now number 90. Nijasthana sthita sakshi bahirantargamāgamau akurvan buddhi chanchalyāt karoti va tatha tatha. Nijasthana sthita sakshi. Sakshi now stays in its own place. Nijasthana sthitaha. Stay in it. But it doesn't have to stay also. Sakshi doesn't have to do. It means then how you'll have to translate that. See that literally staying in this place. Sakshi being as it is. That will be the better translation. Nijasthana sthitaha. Sakshi being as it is in its own place. Bahirantargamāgamau buddhihi. The buddhi which goes in and out, comes and goes. Sakshi akurvan, not doing anything. So akurvan means not doing anything. In its own place, neither going in or out. This sakshi karoti iva tatha tatha. Still it is seen as doing this and doing that. The sakshi is staying in its own place. Because of the buddhi going in and out, the sakshi acquires that guna of the buddhi as a goer, going out, coming back in. But sakshi doesn't. Now, see, all of this is meant so that we'll do vichar on the, and see the word which is being chanchalyam, chanchalyat, chanchalatvam, movement of the buddhi in and out. In other words, what I am supposed to do then by this vichar? Oh, I don't move, I don't go anywhere. Body, mind and intellect, and this apparatus moves. This is all pervasive. Atma Chaitanya Sakshi is all pervasive. I don't come from anywhere or go anywhere. It's just the superimposition of that, of this body, mind, intellect is put on me. I mean, this body, mind, intellect is superimposed on me. All its gunas and qualities. What an amazing turn of this is the vichara. We'll pick it up again tomorrow. Tomorrow, Sunday. Tomorrow morning satsang will not be there at 8 o'clock. We'll have